Hi, I'm Simon with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we're going to show you how to repair your appliance. Are you ready? Remember, anytime you work on your appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. In this video, we'll show you how to replace the evaporator motor in a tap-in refrigerator. It's going to be a very easy repair. Should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. For the job, we're going to need a quarter-inch nut driver, flat blade screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, and a pair of wire strippers. When you open up the package, you're going to get a new evaporator motor, the instruction sheet, 3 butt connectors, and a new small shaft washer. The evaporator motor is located inside the freezer section behind the rear panel. The evaporator motor turns the fan blade that circulates cold air throughout the entire refrigerator. If the temperature inside the refrigerator is higher than normal, especially inside the fresh food section, check if the evaporator motor is running and replace it if needed. To get to the part, we need to open the freezer door. Our next step would be removing this freezer shelf. If you do have this spacer in one of the rear corners, we need to remove it. And just press it down so it will come off. I'm going to slide the shelf to the left, and you probably need to put some effort to that. And the right side comes free, and we're gonna pull this out. Next, I'm going to use this quarter-inch nut driver and remove the 2 screws at the top of the air tower. Next, I'm going to take out this tower. I'm going to tilt that top and remove it. To remove the old motor, we need to take out these 2 quarter-inch screws that holds the mounting bracket. I'm going to use the same quarter-inch nut driver, and we're going to take out those screws. Now I'm going to pull out this bracket and the motor and start with the top. Kind of push it in a little bit, bend it slightly, and then I'm going to remove the whole thing. You may need to jiggle it slightly, and here it comes. And I'm going to disconnect this spark plug and press down on the tab, pull it apart. We need to do a couple of things before we'll be able to replace the motor. First, I'm going to use the flat blade screwdriver, and I'm going to pry off the blade from the motor shaft. And before installing it, don't forget to clean the blades. Alright, now I'm going to remove the plug. I'm going to use the flat blade screwdriver, going to push on this tab and pry it in. Same thing. Oh, it came out. And now I am going to remove this quarter-inch screw using a nut driver. Going to take it out. That will free our ground wire. Save the screw and this small bracket. Remember, it goes in this way. Now I need to separate the 2 brackets. It's going to be done by using the same flat blade screwdriver. Snap it out. And on this side. I'm going to slide out this portion of the bracket. And I'm going to pull out the motor from the other portion of the bracket. This is the old evaporator motor next to the new one. If you don't have this part, you can get it from appliancepartspros.com. All right, I'd like to point your attention to one serious fact of life here. If you read the instructions, it says that on some models you will have to splice the old plug onto the new motor. It's in our case. See, the plugs are different. So we need to cut this off and splice it onto the motor. That's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to use this wire strippers / cutters, and we're going to cut it off as close as possible. We're going to cut all 3 wires here. I'm going to 2 at a time. And then the green one. And we can take this motor away. So well, I'm going to wait for a second. I'm bringing this motor. And I'm going to see the plug. Alright, so we're going to cut it approximately somewhere here. Don't forget we're going to have these butt connectors also, so plug we don't need anymore. Strip the wires. I'm going to shorten it slightly. Alright, now we're going to connect the wires. Twist them. So those 2 wires are white, those 2 wires are black. It doesn't matter which one we're going to connect, but the thing is that we have a green wire on this side, so we're going to go like that. We're going to follow this 1, 2, and 3. Slide on the butt connector. We're going to use the crimper. Make sure when you install the crimper that you're not squeezing that plastic. You need to move it to this metal portion which is in the center. And now we're going to connect the plug. Okay, we got the plug on, and we're gonna start assembling that the motor into the bracket. So let's bring the brackets, and I'm gonna start installing the motor into brackets. This goes into the grommet, into the opening, the bottom. And the top. And I'm going to lock both sides. Now I'm going to install this bracket, the small one. And now we're going to put the ground wire on the top. And I use this the old screw that we had, a 1/4 inch. And I'm going to use the 1/4 inch nut driver, and I'm going to tighten that screw. So we need to install this. Turn the motor to the side, and we're going to bring it in and press it into this opening. So we'll lock the plug. Now we need to place on that shaft washer. Remember, we had it in the kit. Just slide it onto the shaft. Leave it approximately 1/4 inch out from this grommet. And we're going to install the blade. This is the inner portion. Slide it onto the shaft. And it's ready to go in. So let's bring the motor in, and I'm going to plug it in with this beautifully butt connected plug. Make sure it's clicked. And I'm going to install the motor. This side first. We're going to slide it in. And now I'm going to secure that bracket. There's a couple of 1/4 inch screws using these 1/4 inch nut driver. Make sure that the fan is free. And now I'm going to install the tower. I'm going to bring it in, and I'm going to place the lower portion in first. Bring the top up. Alright, I'm going to align the holes, and I'm going to secure the tower with a couple of 1/4 inch screws using that same 1/4 inch nut driver. And it's time to install the freezer shelf. I'm going to bring it in angled like that. Place it into the upper openings on the left side, and I'm going to push it in. So lower down the right side and move it to the right. And I'm going to install the spacer and push it on to the shelf. And now when we're done, we can close the freezer door. Plug the fridge back in and make sure it's cooling. Thank you for being a part of another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. For any of your future appliance repair projects, please check out our other videos available on our site, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram.